with an ambitious target of scaling up copper production from about 800,000 metric tons to 3 million metric tons per annum by 2032. The government is putting in place strategic initiatives to revive the mining sector. The government's approach to increasing the country's copper production includes a number of measures focusing on a combination of factors. These include attracting investment, resolving ownership and legal issues surrounding mining firms, improving operational efficiency, and ensuring that benefits of mining are felt by local communities. These efforts are aimed at not only restoring the profitability and sustainability of the mines, but also ensuring that the sector contributes meaningfully to Zambia's economic growth and development. Recent milestones in the mining sector include the unveiling of International Resource Holdings, IRH, as the preferred equity partner in Mopani mine in Kitwe, with an injection of $1.1 billion. Other achievements include securing investment of close to $500 million for Luanshya's new mine, formerly known as Shaft 28, that was defunct for 23 years. The relaunch of Konkola copper mines and other mining investments across the country are all expected to contribute to ambitious copper production of 3 million metric tons per annum and create thousands of direct and indirect jobs.
The township roads are now possible to be done. It is possible because we are reviving the investment. This mine is a large mine. KDMP is a large resource. With Mopani done, 28 shaft, now KCM, Mingomba, the residual licenses of Lubambe, we brought in a new partnership there. We've increased our shareholding in there with so many other areas. The water side, Chikulu.
In significant efforts to stabilize the country's economy and restore fiscal sustainability, the government has made sustainable progress in the debt restructuring process. Under President Hakainde Hichilema's leadership, Zambia successfully reached a crucial debt restructuring agreement with its creditors, including both bilateral and multilateral partners, in 2023. The UPND government's transparent and proactive approach in negotiations has been instrumental in achieving the milestone, signaling a commitment to prudent economic management and long-term financial stability.
We recorded a major milestone on the continental fiscal space by being the first country that has applied for debt restructuring to attain that feat, meaning that whereas we are required to have been paying every year $750 million United States dollars, that has now been scaled down to $75 million United States dollars per year, giving us as a country fiscal headroom to have opportunity that within the limited resource envelope we can redirect funding into investing in economic sectors to make the economy more resilient, more buoyant, have more capacity to generate more and future resources to pay off the debt while we continue to rebuild the resilience in our economy going forward so that we become sustainable one more time.
In an effort to reduce pressure on the country's resources, the government has in the last 3 years actively used the public-private partnership model to facilitate construction of key infrastructure projects, including roads. This model allows the government to collaborate with private entities to finance, build, and manage public infrastructure, thereby alleviating the financial burden on the state while leveraging private sector efficiency and expertise.
This government has come up very, very strongly on the issue of PPPs, public-private partnerships, and with the president having put in place the public-private dialogue forum, it has created the right platform for the public, for the private sector to come on board and participate in the development of our country together with their government as joint stakeholders in this developmental endeavor.
On 28 February 2023, the government agreed terms with Macro Oceans Investment Consortium of China to construct a 327-kilometer dual carriageway between Lusaka and Ndola at a cost of $650 million. The Lusaka-Ndola dual carriageway project, which was later launched in May 2024, is a prime example of the PPP model in action. The move signaled commencement of works of Zambia's largest public-private partnership road project post-independence. The Kasumbalesa-Chingola Road is already complete under the PPP model. In the pursuit of a broader strategy to decentralize development, President Hakainde Hichilema has continued advocating for the expansion of the Constituency Development Fund (CDF), which has now been increased to over 36 million in the last 3 years, marking a substantial rise from the 1.6 million kwacha allocated in the previous years. With more substantial financial resources, local constituencies have been able to undertake various development projects that were previously unattainable. Additionally, the CDF has been instrumental in supporting local entrepreneurship and youth empowerment programs, providing grants and loans to small and medium enterprises, which has, in turn, stimulated local economies and created jobs.
Pafi obuteko bwatu chitire bwatu pela kwa mpia ya CDF. Nangola batila impia tashichepa, ichichepa mano. So, tuleto tela guntanshinga benga tulanguluka futi. Palikala batu pele, batulundira ko pantanshi tule chetekera nokula yobuteko kutira. Kuti twafutisha kona bambya banenso abalekabira abale shinguluka mu streets twabeta banese ni musambirire.
Following the worst drought on record declared by President Hakainde Hichilema as a national disaster on 29 February 2024, government agencies such as the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit (DMMU) have been activated and are in full swing, providing emergency food supplies across the country.
In accordance with the Disaster Management Act number 13 of 2010 and other relevant legislation, we hereby declare the prolonged drought spell as a national disaster and emergency. Officially, we're declaring today. And this has been out of scientific work that was done, studies that were done, flights were taken around the country, and other instruments that were used to help us arrive at this decision today.
Other government interventions include the participation of the Zambian National Service, ZNS, in the national response to the drought. In the labour sector, the government has made significant strides, particularly addressing long-standing issues such as the delayed payments for workers and enhancing social security benefits. One of the notable actions taken was the settlement of outstanding salaries for the Tanzania-Zambia Railway Authority, TAZARA, who had faced years of wage arrears. Other achievements include remittance of allowances for Zambian soldiers on peacekeeping missions, among others. Additionally, the UPND government, under President Hakainde Hichilema's leadership, signed into law the provision allowing for a partial withdrawal of savings from the National Pension Scheme Authority, NAPSA. Over 380,000 Zambians have benefited from the NAPSA partial withdrawal, which has injected significant liquidity into the economy and empowered citizens to improve their financial stability. The Social Cash Transfer Program has seen an increase in both the number of beneficiaries and the amount of financial assistance provided. The government has also been working to ensure that there is timely and more consistent disbursements, reaching over 1 million households, including the elderly, persons living with disabilities, and the poorest families. The SCT program has seen an increase in both the number of beneficiaries and the amount of financial assistance provided. Under the leadership of President Hakainde Hichilema, the government is spearheading transformational initiatives that are set to revolutionize the agricultural sector in the face of climate change. President Hichilema's vision for Zambia's agriculture is clear: to transform the sector into the mainstay of the country's economy.
Overall production and productivity are important. That's a message. Working together is another message. Small, medium, large farmers. Irrigation, very important message. removing duties, taxes, important messages for water harvesting.
Another initiative complementary to the early maize harvest program is the Comprehensive Agriculture Transformation Support Program, CATSP, launched on 26 July 2024.
Along with what the President has been saying about the dams, we're in full support of these dams going ahead and the water harvesting mechanisms that we need to put in place to protect our waters. And we need to protect our trees, because these forests and trees are the ones that are conserving our the water systems and the rain and rainfall patterns in our country. So North Swaka Forest and many other forests around Zambia need to be protected.
CATSP is an ambitious government initiative aimed at transforming the agriculture sector. The program encompasses several key components designed to modernize and enhance agriculture productivity, promote sustainable farming practices, and improve the livelihoods of farmers. This policy is a broader approach to supporting small-scale farmers in the production of various crops beyond maize.
We want small-scale farmers to have irrigation facilities. So we went to the suppliers of equipment. How much is a submersible pump, solar powered? We got a price. How much are the panels? We got a price. How much is a tank stand? We got a price. How much is a tank? How much is the piping? And how much is the irrigation system, be it drip irrigation, sprinklers, rain guard, center pivot, small center pivot, etc. We looked at the price and we said, okay, from 500,000, Victor is able to go into irrigation. You can drill a borehole from there. And the balance of the money, you can buy what I explained here. 500,000 kwacha is enough. So that's the ceiling. We don't give more than that. It's up to. So if you already have some of the things, you can only get so much, but it's up to 500. You're free to get 100, 200, 300, 400, 70. It's up to you. Okay? So we are enhancing irrigation. So I've moved from research to planting to now managing the plant through water provision. We want 1 million tons of wheat. We want 1 million tons of soybeans. We want 10 million tons of maize. That is all well planned. So whatever we are doing is marching towards that. Very, very comprehensively looked at. That's what CATSP is all about. Then you have produced. There's one last item, processing. There is, of course, post-harvest management, but the end game is processing. We are discouraging sale of unprocessed agricultural produce.
Overall, the CATSP represents a significant step towards modernizing Zambia's agriculture sector in order to create a more productive, sustainable, and economically viable farming landscape.
The launch of the Comprehensive Agriculture Support Program. And from us as AIZ, we feel that's a game changer. This is a broader initiative that aims not only to provide inputs, but also to support farmers with technical assistance, market access, infrastructure development, and capacity building. It is designed to address the entire agricultural value chain from production to marketing. And that's why I call it a game changer. We've also seen investment in irrigation and climate resilience. And we do recognize the challenges posed by climate change. And this government has invested in irrigation infrastructure, particularly in drought-prone areas. There are projects aimed at enabling year-round farming and reducing dependence on rain-fed agriculture.
Recognizing education as the cornerstone for national development, the government is prioritizing the education sector as an integral part of its vision for sustainable economic development. Since 2021, the government has been working towards ensuring that education is made accessible and free for all. This has resulted in the reintroduction of free education, embracing the legacy of Zambia's founding president, Kenneth Kaunda. This is also in line with the requirements of the universal access to education, ensuring that every child can attend school and get an opportunity at education.
We had always talked about free education. Immediately the president actually was elected as president, he said there would be free education. And indeed, free education has been there. In the last now 3 years, I think everybody has seen to say that this thing has worked. It has attracted so many children in school. At first, the children were just 4 million in the country. They are now 6 million, meaning that around 2 million children have been brought in school.
In an effort to uplift education standards, the government has employed more than 38,000 new teachers deployed across the country since 2022.
The teacher-pupil ratio is something that has been an elephant in the room. We've been complaining about the shortage of teachers, especially in the rural areas. So you see, even the recruitment of these teachers was designed to meet the shortage, especially in the rural areas.
And this 30,000, if you like, if you're talking about a family of 6, they are now taking care of their own siblings, those 30,000. The next year we employed another, and that last year we were able to employ 5,000, we employed more than 7,000. So in aggregate, we must have hit the 40s.
The government further recognizes higher education as a critical driver for national development and self-reliance. The UPND government has therefore been investing in a robust university education system. This includes ensuring that there is increased provision of university bursaries and meal allowances to improve the welfare of students in institutions of higher learning.
It's serving its purpose, meal allowance. So it's all about the energy it gives us, to be able to go to class and be active. So yeah, it's really helped us in that sense. Yeah, and also releasing stress of our parents and guardians. So yeah, it's really helped us. We appreciate the government for reintroducing the meal allowances. Yeah.
It's really improving our lives in the sense that we constantly have a certain amount given to us every month for us to use for food and other things that we have going on.
It helps the burden of our parents. So our parents are spending money better. They can buy for us books now. They can save money on books, save money on different kind of stuff, improving our welfare. We eat well these days. We eat well. In Shima we can eat. So we really appreciate this European government.
For the first time, Higher Education Laws and Scholarship Board was allocated 1.2 billion. 1.2 billion. For the first time, just for students to learn, for them to have allowances. I would rate the government 9. The other 1% is on part of infrastructure. I know they might not do everything at once, but they need more time maybe to do these other, to touch in other areas. But looking at when it comes to educating the country, I give them a plus, a 9 out of 10.
The UPND government's commitment to the education sector is aimed at creating a sustainable and economically viable nation driven by a skilled population.
Education for any country is the backbone of any development, because education churns out human resource or human capital that you use to develop the country. Talk about farmers. Farmers are supposed to be churned out by the education system, so that you don't have farmers who are going to waste land. You have farmers that understand agriculture. Talk about engineers, whether they are civil engineers, they are mechanical engineers, they are electrical engineers, mention them. They are supposed to come out and get chained out of this education system, prepared for development.
Other strides in the education sector include the consistent allocation of resources for student bursaries to support skills training initiatives using the Constituency Development Fund, CDF. The idea is meant to equip the youth with necessary skills and resources to foster innovation and create employment opportunities.
I'm doing ICT, which is Information Communication Technology. I found myself here because I didn't want to stay home or in the community for a very long time, so I decided to look for a certain skill that I can do. So I found out that there's a Lusaka Youth Resource Center by people in the community, and then they told me that I can apply for the school using CDF through the councillor's office. I applied and it was successful. I was accepted, and then I started coming to school now.
I'm here at this institute to study power electrical. I just want to say thank you because they have really helped me a lot, because my parents are at a situation where they can't even afford to pay anything for me. So this step they took, like helping youth, has really helped me a lot, because now I'm achieving a lot of goals that I've wanted, and those people who said maybe I'll never do anything, now they're just seeing how the government is helping me.
In the past 2 years, the government has been working towards enhancing the healthcare system by employing more workers in the sector to end the shortage of health professionals in hospitals and health facilities countrywide. The government has employed more than 17,000 health professionals as part of the process of boosting healthcare delivery in the country. New hospitals are also being unveiled across the country. The UPND government has undertaken several initiatives to support sustainable and growth of the energy sector over the past 3 years. The government is currently facilitating the development and expansion of solar power projects countrywide. This includes scaling up of the Scaling Solar program and partnerships with private investors to increase solar energy in the country.
The Rural Electrification Authority is currently operating 12 mini-grid, which has resulted in 2,095 connections, and will soon complete 15 new solar projects by the end of this year, and will result in connecting 3,421. RIA is also working with the private sector and has awarded 105 sites for development of solar mini-grids. These solar mini-grids will benefit households and public facilities such as schools, water utilities, and hospitals. This is part of the efforts to diversify the energy mix and provide electricity to rural population.
In his address to Parliament on 13th September 2024, President Hakainde Hichilema gave a comprehensive overview of Zambia's socio-economic landscape.
Quality education, quality healthcare, access to electricity, social protection, youth empowerment, as well as provision of maternal health facilities, Madam Speaker, are key priority areas for this government in the whole country. Madam Speaker, through our flagship intervention under the Enhanced Constituent Development Fund, which I mentioned earlier, we now see quality and social justice being restored. Many more of our children now have opportunity to learn in a dignified environment, with several classroom blocks, as we talk now, being constructed, several desks being supplied to schools. As we sit here and speak, this is happening across the country. Some of our youth who were condemned to poverty, to roaming around, now, as I said, have access to skills development in order to improve their livelihoods. More young people have benefited from skills development bursaries in the constituencies across the country, while the vulnerable secondary school learners who couldn't afford to attend boarding schools are now happily attending boarding schools. And for the first time, Madam Speaker, in the history of our country, these bursaries are decided at the constituency level, not in Lusaka. We will continue to provide bursaries to our youth. We will do more. We will do more in this area, Madam Speaker. We are not turning back. Every year we will increase this allocation because we know this is the best investment, not to the child only, but to the family, to the community, and I dare say to the economy in terms of skills.
The president's speech focused on key initiatives aimed at addressing challenges in various sectors of the economy impacted by the El Niño-induced drought. 49.1 billion kwacha has since been set aside for drought relief and debt servicing. President Hichilema underscored agricultural reforms, energy diversification, and macroeconomic stability in line with Zambia's long-term development goals.
We are committed to working together in our quest to combat the effects of climate change. The current drought is one clear example which we must fight together and win. Of course, irrigation farming, increased productivity, of course, water harvest, approvals for water permits, WAMA, ZEMA, project approvals cannot be business as usual. These must fall in line, like yesterday, to help us fight this drought. Madam Speaker, to turn this drought from a calamity into an opportunity to change our country forever, to anchor it on irrigation farming for certainty, for higher productivity. We can't do this alone, Madam Speaker. We need to do it together to ensure food security, energy security. Two double tragedies: energy security or insecurity, food insecurity, obviously constitute national insecurity. But we shall overcome as we work together.
Together, we are building a prosperous Zambia for generations to come. Government's commitment to development in various sectors has laid a solid foundation for a brighter future. This is Zambia's Renaissance, a testament to the power of vision and leadership.